What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? When I say P, I mean profit. When I say S, I mean C. You did what I'm saying, baby. Now let's keep it moving. We're gonna do another video, another podcast about feeling strong, and this book I'm gonna be reading to you guys. And my voice is cracking. Wow. I don't know if that's because I'm nervous or something, but we're gonna break this book down and continue to read more about it. It's been a while since I picked up this book. I must say, it's been a while. But let's get into it. We're on, is this a chapter? Let's see, this is a chapter. It's not a chapter. I think it is, but the psychological landscape of power. How we come by our choices or preferences. It'd be a good way to have the book like on the side of the screen or under the screen. But anyway, how we come by our choices or preferences and the way we exercise power is the result of temperament, early experiences, and the convictions of the world we inhabit. Beginning in early childhood, thinking about power relationships consciously or unconsciously takes up a considerable amount of time. Even a small child has an intuitive, though as yet unarticulated sense of her place in the world, and understanding that there is a hierarchy of power, and awareness that her ability to control her life rests not only on learning how to exert her own power, but also on learning how to relate to and influence or manipulate the power of others. We can break power down into childhood, most definitely, especially if you grew up in a household with siblings. You can talk about how, let's say it's three of you, right? You got one who's the oldest, one who's the second oldest, and then one who's the baby. That is a strange, weird power dynamic, because either it can go two against one, or it can go everybody's on their own, free for all, or it can go, yeah, that's it. Either team deathmatch and you're by yourself on the team against two other players, or free for all, everyone for themselves. I think when everyone is for themselves, the power dynamic is different. But when it's a team deathmatch, it can be, if the person is by themselves against two people, you can still win. It's just it'll affect your childhood, and then it'll affect how you will behave as an adult. I would say that because, it can be bullying, it can be you feeling like you're better than the other two people because you did it on your own. Yeah, I did two people, I took on two people. It can go a lot of different ways with that power dynamic. And then you can also talk about the golden child, the truth teller, the scapegoat. It can go down to many different things. Continuing to read. Even a small child has an intuitive, though as yet unarticulated, sense of her place in the world. And understanding that there is a hierarchy of power, and awareness that her ability to control her life rests not only on learning how to exert her own power, but also on learning how to relate to and influence or manipulate the power of others. Childhood teaches us many of the basic power maneuvers. We soon learn that there is just too much we can do to control others, and that there are repercussions for our willfulness. From infancy on, we encounter opposition to our natural desire to have our own way, and this results in a clash of wills between us and our parents. If we fail to find a comfortable balance of power with our parents or our siblings, we will continue to create similar skews in our adult relationships. What I was just talking about, how that could affect your childhood. The present ricochets off the past. The present ricochets off the past. For instance, one young man chooses to argue with his male friends if a difference of opinion arises, but with his girlfriend, he would simply walk the other way, believing that she will catapult out of fear that he will break off the relationship. But with his girlfriend, he would simply walk away the other way. He would simply walk the other way, believing that she would catapult out of fear that he would break off the relationship. He learned these responses from his father and mother, respectively, before he was 5 years old. If we were over control or browbeaten, we may identify with the aggressor and resort to control, coercion, or manipulation to get our way. We may also be preoccupied with the opposite, how to avoid being restricted, controlled, dominated. In the latter case, we are the underdog. Then there is guilt. If we pursue our wishes despite our parents' objections, we do not always get off scot-free. We may become so fearful of their disapproval, punishment, and their possible abandonment if we follow our bliss that we transfer this fear to our later relationship. It's like, okay, well, if you do what you want to do, then I'm not going to be there to support. But when you want someone to allow you to do what you want to do without feeling like the relationship is in jeopardy, like, what I do should not be against our relationship. But if someone take a stance of, oh, well, I think it is against our relationship, then it's like, I guess that's where you would have to cut ties with someone, and you would have to eventually let go of that. Because if someone thinks that your happiness is less important than some type of title or label, but then you can think about that person may be coming from a stance of, oh, well, I'm not going to get as much as time as I used to get with this person. I'm not going to get as much energy as I used to get with this person. I'm not going to get, what they think they used to get before, and they think it's going to be limited now because you're choosing to do what's more important at that moment or at that time. Moving forward, If we pursue our wishes despite our parents' objections, we do not always get off scot-free. We may become so fearful of their disapproval, punishment, and their possible abandonment if we follow our bliss that we transfer this fear to our later relationships. Our ancient relationships don't simply impact on our current ones, but are perpetuated in an underdog life of their own. The power balances we arrive at in our adult lives are complex, not only because they are concentrated, but because our current relationships are inevitably infused with echoes, interjects of our early life relationships. In our autobiographical story, Mama and the Meaning of Life, the existentialist, therapist, and gifted writer Irvin Yalom tells of a dream in which he is wired up in a cardiac unit and thinks he's dying. Leaping out of his bed, he darts off to the Glen Echo amusement park, where he takes his place in the line for the House of Horrors. Much to his surprise, he sees his mother in a group of onlookers and calls out to her, "Mama, how do I do? How do I do?" In the context of the story, this is a shock. His mother had been dead for more than 10 years, and in fact, Yahom was emotionally estranged from her ever since an incident that happened when he was 8 years old and she took him to the movies. Damn. Whether inadvertently or purposely, she started to sit down in a pair of empty seats next to a much feared neighborhood tough guy. When the tough guy told her the two seats were saved, she scorned him and sat down, thus prominently condemning Yahom to his enemies list. But she had no awareness of this at all, no concern about what her sang-froid was going to cost her son. Yahom never forgave her. He went on living with his mother year after year on terms of unbroken enmity. She was vain, controlling, intrusive, suspicious, spiteful, highly opinionated, and abysmally ignorant. Never, not once, do I remember sharing a warm moment with her. Never once did I take pride in or think, I'm so glad she's my mama. Clearly, too, there were additional reasons for their estrangement. Her haughty, cavalry cavalier attitude permitted their relationship. Estrangement trauma. I know that's a such thing. I wonder how estrangement trauma could play in my life if I've experienced it. I'm not sure. It's estrangement. So he kind of like, what they're saying is he resented her. Is what's really going on. He never forgave her for, I guess, the way she's been, but he doesn't know why she's been that way. Yet the dream tells another tale. Even though Yahum divorced his mother at an early age, she lives on in him. Damn. This is your son. How do you divorce your son? Anyway, well, he divorced her. But anyway, he invokes her to pass judgment on how he has made out in life. He wants to know if she's proud of him. Yahum is enthralled to her judgment of him. And why not? In our early lives, we are the powerless ones. Our parents are our generals and judges. The power of Yahum's mother has continued to exist in a subterranean place. And now when Yahum is in his 60s, it explodes into his consciousness. Why does she serve us now? Yahum doesn't say, although he hints in another story, that many of his current concerns are connected to intimacy, are connected to imitations of morality, and he confesses that he fears death. Perhaps his fear of death, as in a dream, leads him to reconsider his life. What impact has his maternal debug had on his life? She has certainly affected the scope of his ambition, and she has probably affected his sense of inner power or powerlessness. Yahum's story dramatizes something that is true for all of us. The voices of our early childhood stay with us throughout life, though we are not always conscious of them, and even though the speakers may be long dead, these voices grant or deny us recognition and shape the power strategies we subsequently choose. You know, lately I've been thinking about that too, and I've been not only thinking but talking about how, like, you subconsciously come up with strategies to maneuver in life, and those strategies can either be successful or unsuccessful. And voices is what I really want to pinpoint on, how certain voices in your head can literally affect your direction of where you're going in life. And that direction will stay in motion unless an opposite force acts upon it. So you can say destiny, you can say fate, you can say these voices are not even yours. Let's be real, they're not yours, and it's hard to break free from those type of voices because those voices show up in ways that you may not be aware of. And that is the crazy/sad part about it. It's really sad, not crazy, because most people don't break free from these voices. Let's be real here. And that makes me feel a little bit distraught, I guess, because, like, you know, I've experienced it where I will want to get intimate with someone or want to get close with certain relationships in my life, but it's hard for me to do so because certain voices in my head that I've had when I was younger, and it can skew the perception of how I'm seeing things, and that's important. With that being said, are y'all enjoying so far? Like, I'm enjoying myself. I ain't gonna lie. Just talking to y'all, just reading this, feeling strong. I'm enjoying myself as I'm reading this, and I'm losing track of time, which is a good thing. Because, you know, if I can do this and just break it down, it's like I'm reading, but I'm not reading. Okay, anyway. These voices grant or deny us recognition and shape the power strategies we subsequently choose. One of my patients, professionally successful man who remembered his mother as being very overbearing, always told me with great gravity with great gravity what his wife thought and how she interpreted his motivations. Even when he was angry at her, he divorced the legitimacy of his own feelings by taking her interpretation of events as the literal truth and denying his own agency. The only way he managed to maintain his sense of a separate self was to take a mistress. What? Hold on. Let's reread that. One of my patients, a professionally successful man who remembered his mother as being very overbearing, always told me with great gravity what his wife thought and how she interpreted his motivations. Even when he was angry at her, he disavowed the legitimacy of his own feelings by taking her interpretation of events as the literal. Oh, oh my fucking God. I cannot sit here and tell you on how this bro I'm laughing because I'm trying to hide my shame. Bruh. Give it. I might pause and edit this. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. We're gonna repeat it one more time. One of my patients, a professionally successful man who remembered his mother as being overbearing, always told me with great gravity what his wife thought and how she interpreted his motivations. Even when he was angry at her, he disavowed the legitimacy of his own feelings by taking her interpretation of events as the literal truth. 2024, where we're at right now, a lot of relationships do not be real. Like, we be claiming hurt, we be playing victim and being hurt, and I'm gonna talk about females. I'm not misogynist, but females, some of them, they're so immature with their emotions. They take how they feel the truth, and there are females, they're made that way emotionally, but however, it's not truth. So like, you can be a guy you can be like, okay, hey, I think this is important, and it can actually be valid. It's a valid point, but because of how she interpreted and she may feel about the situation, it can be wrong to her. And now you have this whole catastrophe, and now you have to literally forget whatever you thought was important, put everything you thought was important to the side and attend to her, and then in a way take on the weight of what was really going on. So then let's talk about guys. Some guys, they may not take responsibility for how they feel and make decisions and treat a female or anybody a certain way because they think it's valid and that's what's important, when as a man you should be operating more on a logical standpoint, less emotional. What you feel is valid, it's not okay to take course of action in how you feel. So yeah, I just thought that was shamefully funny to me because I'm a living testimony. I lived it. I know I lived it. Anyway, by taking her interpretation of events as the literal truth and denying his own agency, the only way he managed to maintain his sense of a separate self was to take a mistress. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Those who avoid expressing what they feel in favor of stressing what a partner feels are giving power to. Oh my! What the fuck? What? What? Hold on. Those who avoid expressing what they feel in favor of stressing what a partner feels. Those who avoid expressing what they feel in favor of stressing what a partner feels are giving power to the partner. So you may be afraid of saying what's actually on your mind because of how this person or that person might react. And in return, you giving power to that person because you know they gonna blow up or act in a way that may not be best. Bruh, when I say living testimony, I've lived some of these things, so it's like crazy. And then where I'm at right now, in my current stage and age of life, it's here because like that's where I'm at. You Those who avoid expressing what they feel in favor of stressing what a partner feels are giving power to the partner. The origin of this kind of relationship is sometimes to be found in the truth of child. In the truth a child makes with an overbearing parent. Children apparently conclude that even though a parent feels a need to dominate and control, the parent is a protector, someone to depend on, someone who continues such an accommodation into adulthood is left with a sense of self-doubt, vacillation, and mistrust of his own feelings. The result is a generalized sense of powerlessness, almost invariably in intimate relationships, though not necessarily at work. In the course of growing up, we learn how power is distributed among those closest to us, and we develop an ability to intuit how this may affect us, even when we are not directly involved. For instance, as an adolescent's lateral inadvertently divorced her mother's complex relationships with the mother's sister. Laurel's aunt Dorothy, lying in bed one morning, she overheard a conversation between her mother and their next door neighbor. Her mother was bragging about Dorothy. Laurel immediately understood that her mother believed she held a privileged social position because of her wealthy and socially prominent sister. At the same time, however, her mother felt disadvantaged, vice versa. Dorothy, what? Her mother felt disadvantaged, vice versa. Dorothy. V-I-S-A-V-I-S. So I'm assuming it's vice versa. Laurel generalized from this understanding of how connections to powerful people may confer prestige in one context while causing feelings of inferiority in another. Such a prefaticated emotional response is almost inevitably the dilemma of the spear carrier, the acolyte, the dependent relative, and often the wife of a successful husband. For Laurel, the price paid by her mother seemed too high, and out of shame for her mother, she convinced the ambition to be important in her own right. One might say that the conversation she overheard led to a amount of recognition. There may well be something about power and about our natural aptitude for fitting ourselves into power relationships that make us such moments of recognition likely. Sometimes, too, we read in the eye of someone else how we have been appraised as strong or weak, contempt or helpless, a life force or a weak reed. A primary arena in which power is first learned, then continually negotiated and renegotiated, is the relationship between siblings. Oh my God. That got me thinking about how, right, like negotiation, right, in contracts. You may have had agreed to a certain contract when you was young because you was powerless, you was helpless, you couldn't do nothing, you needed your parent, you know what I'm saying? But you may not necessarily agreed with the contract. You may not have agreed with the contract, but you had to agree to the contract because you had to depend on this caregiver to take care of you. So then it's like, it goes on and on and on and on, recursively, and it becomes unconscious. So now You manifest relationships that is in agreement with the contract you agreed to when you was young, but you may not remember the contract you agreed to when you was young because you were so goddamn young. You don't remember the contract. Like, it's like, and then I do believe everybody get an opportunity to break free from it, but like, how many chances does a person even get to that point? A primary arena is a relationship between siblings, contracts between siblings. Like, I got siblings, right? So I can relate to how sometimes something's been unfair when it came down to siblings wise. But like, that was the contract, that was the standard. But if you don't agree to the contract, you don't agree to the standard, then you don't have to do anything with it. Because sometimes, like, it ain't about siblings. It's about like having contracts with people that it's a win-win situation for both parties. If the best way to win in a contract with someone is to walk away, then I can't work with you. I can't do it with you, man. I can't do the contract with you. I can't. You only want to get what you want, and you don't care about what I want, and it's not gonna work. You can think about you need to take a shower. Let's use something common. You need to use the kitchen to cook. Someone else is already in the kitchen. The kitchen is small. You know what I'm saying? You need a certain pot. They want to use the pot. You can't use the pot because the person is using the pot. So then you say, oh, well, hey, how long do you think you're going to use it? The person says, well, you're not going to use the pot because I'm using it. And I'm going to take it as long as I need. So then you have no control in that situation. You have to accept that. Now, sometimes some people can do things with malicious intent to get a reaction out of you, just to see if they can still push that button. So then it's like, well, fuck, you know what I'm saying? What's the point of even being in contracts with people that knows that it's a certain thing or trigger there or a certain button they can push there and they're going to intentionally push the button? Or it can be, okay, well, give me about 15 minutes to an hour. I'll be done with the spot. Okay, that will be considered a win-win. Bathroom. You need to use the bathroom right now. It's urgent. It's important to you to use it right now. You value it right now. This person may not value or think it's as important to them because it's not benefiting them. But they know you need to use it. They can either prioritize what's important to you, and I think that's what it's really about. I think it's about both parties prioritizing what's important to oneself, and both parties are able to recognize that and then be able to be like, this is what's important to me, this is what's important to you. Let's both prioritize what's important to each other so we can take the best course of action moving forward. It shouldn't, I don't think it should be, I know it shouldn't be, I know for a fact it shouldn't be, this is what's important to me, this is what's important to me, I don't care what's important to you, I'm going to get what I want, and if you're going to do that and you're not going to speak about it or stand up for yourself about it, then hey, why not? That is not what it should be about. It should not be about that at all. That right there is how you get screwed over, fucked over, overbearing, dominant, being too submissive, being too nice, not putting your foot down, being a nice guy. You can go down the list, down the line, down the ladder. Let's continue. Relationships with siblings is what they talked about. The poet Sharon Olds writes of her sister. Hilton entered Paris the way my sister entered my room at night. Old goes on to describe how this older sister sat astride her and peed on her. She doesn't tell us what their present relationship. I don't think I would either. Shit. She doesn't tell us what her present relationship is, but writing the poem may have served as a partial redress of the humiliation inflicted on her in childhood. Not surprisingly, many writers say that they are inspired by revenge. In my childhood, I've been ganged up on by my two siblings, and I'm the oldest, right? But they're the youngest. So, I mean, at first it might have been like a joke, like, but then after a while, it started becoming a habitual thing. would I say it affected my self-image and who I became as a person? Yes, but I've also worked through a lot of that stuff, and I've got myself to a certain point where like I'm confident within myself. And I think that's kind of what my life has been about, being able to be confident within myself and not doubt myself. Because like if I didn't live a life of self-doubt, my life would be a lot farther. But you know, I have been progress. And I've been thinking about that. I was like, well, have I been progressive about where I've been and who I became so far, who I used to be? You know, who I used to be before, I used to be someone who didn't make decisions. Like, I would procrastinate about everything. So like, now, like right now, I'm reading this and it's coming to a end soon. But I'm in my mind like, damn, I want something from the store, but like, I don't want it that bad. I mean, I don't have to prioritize it that bad. Is it that important to me? I mean, it's not really, but like, I'm making a decision right now. I'm using ABCDE analysis and value versus effort. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be driving the car. I make sure or I might have to ride the bike. It would be. I wouldn't think it would require a lot of effort if I'm driving. Riding a bike would require a lot of effort. But would it be high value to me? I mean, I guess it depends on what's really that important to me, you know? And I've been able to make a lot more decisions on what's important to me. So like, what's important to me is having my own, right? So then that's a lot of effort, and it's high value. What steps will I take? So then you think about my finances. What steps will I take in order to get myself in a certain point financially? So you think about a career. I used to be a person that worked a lot of different type of jobs, even picking up shifts, and that was short term. That was like, I would say, low effort for high value. No, really low effort and low value, because yeah, it might have seemed good short term and it might have been good in that moment, but like, what's important is having a consistent income. Whether it's a job or not a job, it's important to have that type of consistency. And if you don't have that, then, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this video now just to keep myself busy with doing something. You know, like, and I don't have a job right now. I'm currently unemployed. I'm praying and I'm asking myself, what's the divine job? What's the divine career? And I'm doing this because I know I can do this. I wake up every day and I do push-ups every day. I wake up every day and I take hot and cold showers. I wake up every day and I meditate. I can do at least a 40-minute video every day. Yes, disclaimer, 40 minutes, and it's about to end soon. I pray y'all enjoying this content though. And if you made it this far, my boy, my girl, you feel me though? You feel me? I fuck with you. You locked in for shit show. Anyway though. Yeah, feel me though. Let's get to that shit though. Not surprisingly, many writers say that they are inspired by revenge writers. I'm talking about they break this shit down. They gon' feel this shit. You feel me? Aggressively writing in the book. Okay, anyway. O describes a primal confrontation, but we often find subtle ways of asserting power over our brothers and sisters, especially when we are younger or weaker. We learn how to get them into trouble with our parents. For example, at the dinner table, a little girl quietly kicks her big sister under the table to provoke the older sister to hit her, eliciting the predictable wrath of their mother. Or a younger brother snitches on an older brother for the psychoanalyst, critic, and scientific historian Frank Saloué. Sibling rivalry, not the Oedipus conflict, is the engine of history. He believes that unconventionality is a trait of younger siblings and is developed because they need to differentiate themselves in order to avoid competition with the firstborn. Ultimately, though, our rivals and competitors are also our companions and co-conspirators. Unwilling to lose our affectionate ties to our siblings, many of us learn how to negotiate friendly relations with them. We also use friends to work out issues of control and power in early childhood. In games of war or games that involve hiding and catching, we are flexible, alternating the roles of attacker and attacked, hunter and hunted. We learn the concept of taking turns, which helps mitigate against quarrels over priority, while still allowing each of us a taste of it. In early childhood, we may also learn patterns of powerlessness, especially in our parents consistently undercut us and designate our attempts at mastery or independence. In early childhood, we may also learn patterns of powerlessness, especially if our parents consistently undercut us and designate our attempts at mastery or independence. Sometimes it's not even active undermining that creates this sense of powerlessness. Rather, it's neglect. A boy of 3 makes himself a nuance trying to break into the circle of his 7-year-old brother's friends. This pattern becomes set for life as he or she
I got every time I call the smoke.
This pattern becomes set for life as he begins to feel professionally outside and disadvantaged. Irremediably less powerful than his brother, whom he tries for years to imitate. This dependence on his brother developed because his parents never looked after him or protected him, leaving him to seek his brother's unreliably protective wing. Sometimes he would be his brother's sidekick, but too often he was an unwanted tag along. Nor did his brother grow up unscathed, unresolved guilt over what he feels was mistreatment of his brother, which he now tries to make up to him, has led to bouts of self-abnegation of his own intimate life. Damn. That's crazy. And I have a younger brother, so that's crazy. That's crazy.
She ain't got the car yet. But William saying that she do. William saying that it's like a red Kia or some shit.
The uses we make of our childhood strengths and weaknesses are complicated and do not always play out in any linear way. Michael Korda has noted that in the business world, men who were bullies at school often develop a very sophisticated repertoire of bullying techniques in adult life, though they may eventually find themselves at a disadvantage if they meet a more powerful bully. On the other hand, those who were persecuted by bullies and learn how to deal with them by flattery, cunning, and a display of weakness usually go on using these defenses against adult bullies with the same success. Korda concludes that the most successful power players in business or other arenas can do both and don't mind looking for foolish or weak when it is useful. A certain amount of ego destruction is not a bad thing. Here, Korda demonstrates how the powers of the weak can sometimes be invoked to triumph over the powers of the strong. Face laying that. Our adaptations during adolescence are not necessarily predictive of our adult lives. Those who were popular in high school may use their gifts to advantage in later life, but sometimes a high school student popular simply by virtue of mastery of the dating game or excellence in terms of sports fails to develop internal resources. It's no surprise that in movies depicting class reunions, the nerd almost always turns out to be the winner. Mother, I became the nerd now because I'm gonna be the winner. You hear me, man? Anyway, the nerd almost always turns out to be the winner. Often the CEO of a computer company. This theme also appears in short story by John O'Hara, in which a high school football player reaches his pinnacle of the playing field, with his lifelong going straight downhill from there. Being popular often depends on superficial social skills such as wearing the right clothes and looking in. But being popular can be so gratifying in the moment that it interferes with the career dreaming so often connected to future success. Gender and our parents' response to it may dictate many of the power tactics we will favor in early and later life. Some influences begin in childhood but continue to affect us in adulthood. Much is written in popular psychology and in this book about how we come to identify with one or the other parent and how we are shaped by key experiences of our early lives. I know I said 40. We got this last, and then we're going to finish it up on this last page, and then we will be out of here. Yeah. Some new researchers suggest that specific patterns of dominance and submissiveness related to gender may begin with interactions between mothers and infants. The researchers and psychoanalyst Daniel Stern found evidence in this video of a mother and her young son, who he analyzed frame by frame. The boy, 9 months old, is sitting on the floor playing with a wooden puzzle. His mother moves him into a position where they might play together. The boy picks up a piece of puzzle to put in his mouth. His mother says no and restrains his arm, remarking puzzle not to eat. This is a typical thing mothers do to preclude an inappropriate activity. They give an explanation. They say, this is a leaf, it's not to eat. We do not eat leaves. We don't eat leaves. I want to finish, but let me slow down. I'm excited to finish, that's all. But I'm also excited to keep reading. I wonder where they're going with this, though. The child says, he eats again. He again picks up the puzzle. The mother resuscitates, no, not to put in your mouth. There is a pause. He says, again, and his mother says, I said no. He does it twice more. She makes her disapproval known again, and she becomes more and more serious in her need to override him. She turns her head toward him and scowls with her eyebrows. Her voice loses its musicality and sounds more stressed. She says, don't yell at your mother. I said no. But her response is not yet intense. The two have entered a kind of game that will escalate until one or the other backs down. The mother's voice hardens. The child says, the mother turns, pulls back, softens. She's quiet. Her vocal tension is gone. She's almost sexy. Conciliatory. She raises both eyebrows. At that point, she says very musically, I said no. But the boy has won. They both seem to understand the point they've reached. Her hand is on one of his arms, but she doesn't stop him. Damn, this got me thinking about my younger brother and me. How I've set it up to my mom and I've lost standing up to her. My brother standing up to my mom and she's given up on him. And he's won. And I can see how that manifests in my life when I stand up to women and I put my foot down. But see, I was raised to be a nice guy. That's why I practice boundaries. Like, let me slow my voice down and be mindful of how I speak. That's why I practice boundaries. I practice boundaries because this is certain shit I won't go for. There's certain things I won't do. And I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a line. You don't cross that shit. You feel me? If I say I'm not doing, and boundaries is for my sake, it's not for your sake. So I say I'm not doing this, then you don't cross that. And that's how I'm moving forward. And that's really what it was. If the boy won, it's because he set a boundary and said, no, I'm going to do what I want to do, regardless of what you say and think and feel. Most guys, they'd be nice because like, well, I want to please my woman. No. Nigga, if you don't want to eat her pussy, no. If I don't want to deal with you, no. If I don't want to put up with your bullshit, no. You feel me? I don't even ask for much. And that makes me think about, that got me going down a neural pathway in my relationship dating life, because like, I'm a guy that don't really ask for much. So when I ask for something simple, I expect you to act the part. And I ain't saying do what I say, but like, if this is a boundary for me and I expect you to at least give me that same respect, because I'm being simple, I'm not asking much of you, then just, you know what I'm saying? But like,
you know?
Almost. You know, that shit just, anyway though. Get my baby brother. What you?
You want to give them to me? Alright. It's underscore 0SAMA the letter K.
Huh? Oh, it's the same thing?
Yeah, underscore, just the underscore. And then 0SAMA the letter K.
Alright. Let's go. But the boy has won. They both seem to understand the point they've reached. Her hand is on his arm, but she doesn't stop him. This is the turning point, and he overrides her with a grunt of satisfaction. He puts the puzzle in his mouth. She says, he puts the puzzle in his mouth. She says, does that taste good? It's only cardboard. But as soon as he defies her and gratifies himself, she shows contempt. Whoa. Yeah, this is really a manifestation of like, you can be nice, you can either be a pimp or you can be a simp. You a pimp or you a simp. You a pimp or you a simp, because like, I see that now. I see that now. You gotta really let females know, like, I mean, if I'm a guy, like, bro, I've been nice to females and I've been nice to try to get my way into the pussy and get my way in being like, but like, you gotta show them, bro, I'm gonna do what I want to do, whatever you think or don't think. Damn, bro. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that right there is a bad boy. She said it's only cardboard, but as soon as he defies her and gratifies himself, she shows contempt. In his microanalysis of the video, Stern considers the mother behavior before she says no. Her son looks at her, knowing what's coming. They don't appear to be negotiating anything new. Stern suggests that the baby is learning the point at which he can ignore what his mother is saying. He theorizes that the mother is both rejecting her son and teaching him how the balance of power can shift. Sometimes within the course of a single conversation, particularly when it becomes clear that one person wants something more than the other one does. If she wants to get married more than he does, for instance, he holds the power. If she wants to get married more than he does, for instance. True, change can also take place if one partner changes dramatically. Thus, if an overweight wife loses 20 pounds, her husband may sit up and take notice. External changes like a promotion and a monetary windfall or the loss of a job or severe illness also shift the balance. Damn. Right. Our personal psychology is sufficiently complex that we often find ourselves in different power positions in different relationships. Stories of extremely powerful businessmen feared by their rivals and their allies who become mesmerized and dominated by a woman are so common as to be cliches. The dominant woman in such a relationship may herself personify or embody a cliche. The power behind the throne, a fatale, a dominatrix, invalid wife. A teenage girl whose friends' parents admire her good nature. Tyrannizes her mother in private. She is unyieldingly dominant and controlling with her mother, while socially she is agreeable, pliable, and sunny. What the fuck? A much decorated soldier, fearless in battle, is excruciatingly shy on a date, and so on. The relational strategies we adopt are context related, suggesting that we all harbor the dual impulses to dominate and to submit. I'm a dominant guy in a relationship. that left me kind of speechless a little bit, I must admit. We're at 50 minutes. I could go on to an hour. Exceed past my expectations. Dedicate an hour a day to do this. The underlying balance of power between two people is not always self-evident. The participants may deceive themselves, both rationalizing that one is more powerful when it is the other way around. This pattern is more common when the wife is the real power. People may even remain unaware that when the wife is the real power, people may even remain unaware that there is a power balance in a relationship until it breaks down or until it is called to their attention by a child or by an outsider. This pattern is more common when the wife is the real power. People may even remain unaware that there is a power balance in a relationship until it breaks down or until it is called to their attention by a child or by an outside observer. Oh, I gotta keep my mouth shut. What? But now I see that one can hold more power over someone else, and you are unaware of it until something or opposite force or another person or a child, animal can bring it to your attention and help you realize that you do not have as much power as you think you do. Whatever balance we achieve, internal changes on the part, right? So that means you got to really work within yourself to achieve that balance within yourself. Whatever balance we achieve, internal changes on the part of one partner can result in dramatic and often disruptive shifts. For instance, dealing successfully with the drug or alcohol problem, which should prove a boon to a relationship, may actually become disruptive. This occurs when the power balance is organized around the unconscious gratification both partners derive from the fact that one of them was playing the rescuer. Many bad marriages endure precisely because of the gratification that comes from the strong partners ministering to the addicted weak partner. Even when the healthy partner is suffering, she may be getting pleasure from her presumed saintless and moral superior. Fuck it, we gonna go for an hour. We gonna go for an hour. What? I kinda got lost in the sauce. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Slow it down. All right, we back. Baby magically appeared. Whatever the balance we achieve, internal changes on the part of one partner can result in dramatic and often disruptive shifts. For instance, dealing successfully with the drug or alcohol problem, which should prove a boon to a relationship, like it should make the relationship better, but however, may actually become disruptive. This occurs when the power balance was organized around the unconscious gratification both partners derive from the fact that one of them was playing the rescuer. So that person was supporting. Damn. Oh yeah, that means I've been lost that past relationship I was in, because in the midst of the crisis, I've been overcame the situation. Like I've been overcame what I was supposed to overcome. I've been became a better person and being able to help make decisions. Wow. So I really came a long way. This is Turkey Leg Boy right here. If y'all ain't know, Turkey Leg Boy is an old soul. That boy been here longer than I've been here. He decided to come back though. I don't know why he act like he don't know who I am. He just ain't seen me all day. Turkey Leg Boy was gone. We really ain't cutting strong, Turkey Leg Boy. Both partners derive from the fact that one of them was playing the rescuer. Many bad marriages endure precisely because of the gratification that comes from the strong partners ministering to the addicted weak partner. Even when the healthier partner is suffering, she may be getting pleasure from her presumed saintless and moral superiority. She may be getting pleasure. Even when the healthier partner. What? Oh, hold on. What? Even when the healthier partner is suffering, she may be getting pleasure from her presumed saintliness and moral superiority. So I became a better person, or you became a better person, but the person you're dating or family members or siblings you're dealing with, they may not have chose to become better, and they could still be on that same level, and like you're suffering because like you're not understanding. You're like, I did the work, I became a better person, but like you don't see me in that light. You know what I'm saying? And that can be hard because sometimes everybody may not come where you're going. How many minutes we got? We got 5 minutes left. Success of one partner can threaten a literally, success of one partner can threaten a relationship. When a husband writes his first book in the time when he does not yet know whether it will be a success or a failure, or a wife is expecting an important promotion, the spouse may be afraid of losing the relationship. This insecurity and the implication that the spouse failure would be preferable to martial strain may cause a crack in the bond, because I may become something of value. I may, you know what I'm saying, end up in my own crib, my own place, my own apartment, and or you know what I'm saying, she may boss up and she may glow and start getting her own money. She may not need him no more to support him, and now this person is afraid because it's like it's subconscious. It's like, damn, where am I going to be? Where is my life going to go then if you doing this and doing that? And that can be intimidating. You want to grab like okay. Shifts in the power balance can result from a moment of recognition. A generally passive woman unexpectedly asked her husband why he came home so late without calling. Right, the husband never expected her to ask because she usually don't say shit. Ordinarily, she never questions him, but now she can read guilt in his eyes. She knows he's having an affair. While she may feel humiliated, she is empowered by knowing the truth. I'm knowing the truth by knowing that this is not supposed to be what I'm prioritizing right now. And that to her may be an issue because she knows what she was doing. She wants to be a priority in my life, and that may to her be supporting some type of deep hitting pattern or emotion about myself, when reality, you know what I'm saying, like I need to accept whatever I'm feeling about myself. I need to accept that it's okay to not meet a certain quota or a demand without feeling like you're not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm doing right now, the only reason I did this is because I chose to prioritize this. I chose to make this urgent and important, high priority, high value, high effort. This don't even take a lot of effort. Some people, the next person that may see this as hard, the other person may see this as easy. This person that somebody may see sales as, oh man, you gotta cold call, you gotta knock on doors and shit. I may see that, man, that shit fun. It's easy. Time wasted. Getting easy money. Working a job to me, man, that shit hard, man. Oh, man, I can't work no goddamn job. Shit, my elbow, I'm too excited. I can't work no goddamn job. That shit ain't gonna work, man. That shit too hard. And next person, that shit fun. It's easy. One more example. Picking McDonald's. I can't work at no goddamn McDonald's, man. That shit too hard, man. Ain't wait for the work done shit. The next person, man, that shit easy. Flipping burgers, man. Dropping fries in the grease. Taking orders. That shit is sweet. It can go many different ways. But with that being said, the point I'm making is, being different and growing as a person and doing what's unexpected. The art of war. That's the perfect example. I'll leave it right there. It's about to be 1 minute and it's a whole hour. We gonna start doing a whole hour on this shit. The art of war. Hit the enemy where it is unexpected. The enemy is expecting you to be in a certain position, right? You're gonna go this way so you can attack the enemy from this direction. The enemy's this way, you're going this way. The enemy's like, well, if they want to attack me, shouldn't they go this way so I can hit them directly? Nah, you're gonna go this way because now the enemy is in question. The enemy doesn't know where you're gonna go. So if you go this way, now you right here. The enemy thought you was gonna hit him right here, but you hit him right here. And art of war, you know what I'm saying? So when basically she's asking him questions about where he's been, and he usually doesn't get questioned. Now he's in a position where he doesn't know what to do. Now he's in a position of him being afraid of the relationship, because now she's become aware of what's been going on, and she can see the guilt. She may be embarrassed, she may be humiliated, she may be like, this nigga cheated, or excuse my language, but this guy cheated. But reality, she's empowered because she was able to do the internal work and shift the external power, as within to without, as above so below, law of correspondence. With that being said, I'm out.